There it goes. So thanks everyone. Okay, bonjour, hello. Welcome to another fabulous Tuesday. Yeah, my apologies for not being here last week. Last week was National Indigenous Day, so happy National Indigenous Day, everyone. It was such an amazing day. It was very busy for me, but really wonderful at the same time. I was really thankful and humbled for all the places that I got to visit, for all the kids I got to share with, and the adults I got to share with as well, and just all the wonderful people I got to meet. Also, I'm just really thankful. I did a video with the CBE of the chickadee song and the chickadee story, and so I was able to share that with CBE, with the school system, and I had so many kids come up to me when I was at TELUS saying, "Hey, I saw your video," and so it really kind of solidified the fact that I'm going to be working on my album this summer, and that it's important to share. It's important to leave that legacy piece for. There's only one of me, so I can't be in like 1,000 places at once. So it's nice that you have a video that can be in 1,000 places at once. And so I'm just really thankful and humbled for all of the gifts that I have. I think it's really important that even when something terrible happens in your life, that you kind of look at the bigger picture and say, okay, why did that thing happen? And how can we use that momentum to change my life path, or to honor the gifts that I do have, or to really appreciate and value the things that I do have for those gifts and opportunities that have come my way. Even though sometimes those challenges do suck, it's important to see the beauty that comes after those challenges. So I just wanted to welcome everyone today with the Cree welcome song, of course, and just by acknowledging the land upon which we stand. So I live in Calgary now, which is Mohkinstsis, Treaty 7 territory, and so I'm very, very thankful to live here, even though I'm from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan, so I'm Cree, Anishinaabe, and Métis. And even though my ancestors have kind of like been in a different place, this has really become my home. I've learned from so many different elders and knowledge keepers from the different nations, and so I always acknowledge those nations and the connection that I have, through those teachings, through sitting in ceremony, through being able to support families through activism, or through just community connections and really building those bridges. And so I honor the Blackfoot, Nitsitapi of Siksika, Kaina, and Pagani, the Sarsi of Tsutsuna, also known as the Beaver People, and the Stoney Nakoda of Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking on the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I proudly wear my Métis sash. This particular Métis sash was actually given to me from one of my elders who is from Siksika, and I'm very, very thankful and humbled to wear it in a good way. To honor that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. And when we acknowledge the land, it's so important to really understand why we're doing it. It's not just empty words. It's more than that. It's what is your connection? What is your connection to the people? What is your story that has brought you here? And what is the story that has brought your family to this land and this place? How many generations have your family been on this land? And really to take all of those things into account and realize it's not just the words, it's not just naming the nations, it's more than that. It's naming the connections that we get to build with all of those nations. And so to welcome everyone into the circle today, I wanted to share with you the Cree welcome song. Traditionally when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, but this song is a little bit different. We sing it in rounds of 3 to keep the circle open and welcoming, so everyone completes the circle today, because in a circle we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end, no one is greater or less than anyone else in this circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences, because if we were all exactly the same, the world would be incredibly boring and nothing would ever get done. So it teaches us to really come into the circle without judgment, and not comparing ourselves to others, which I know sometimes it's very, very difficult. We see somebody from afar and we're like, oh, I want that. But then you get close and you're like, no, don't really. And so it's just really about acknowledging that we're all on different journeys. And so we can't really compare ourselves because it's totally, totally different journeys. I also wanted just to mention that I think it's really, really important to support each other on those journeys. We have a lot of lateral violence in our communities that's really tearing us apart. And when we can just put those things aside, come together and actually support our community, that's where we're going to see those changes. It's not about taking credit for those changes that are happening. It's supporting each other to make those changes happen, which I think is really important. And so it's all about compromise, honoring those gifts. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree welcome song, is from the Natahau family, and I thank that family for keeping this song alive and the story alive. And it doesn't just mean welcome. It also means beautiful. I always love to sing this just to start because I feel like it brings my ancestors in so I can share in a good way. And so, try not to run anything over. Miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epeitakote, niwagomagan, wota, Homa kintaskino miasen miasen hasemina hasemina epeitakote niwagomagan hota homa kitaskino miasen miasen hasemina hasemina epeitakote niwagomagan hota homa kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle tonight, everyone. Yeah, tonight I wanted to start with a smudge because it's been a really long time since I've actually smudged online, and I think it's really, really important just to welcome in the new year, well, the new part of the year. So every solstice ushers in new energy. It ushers in new life, of course. In the summer solstice, it's really about growing and bringing everything to fruition. So all of the seeds that we've been planting over the last season have actually started to grow and manifest and change. If you are one who does believe in manifestation, you might notice it's kind of been like an expedited process of manifestation lately. Like you say something and boom, the next day you got it. In a good way, within reason. You gotta be careful what you wish for, just saying. But it's really just about honoring all of those energies and all of those things that guide us on our journey, but also recognizing the work that we've done to get to where we are and think of how far we have come in like just the last year, even the last season. There's a lot of people who've been putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it's definitely been a journey. But also with those journeys comes a lot of challenges. And so I'm just going to pull out all of my medicines here. So what we're seeing is a lot of challenges pop up to see how we can deal with them. This is happening, of course, politically. So in the States, we're seeing that like right up in our face. We're also seeing that around the world. But also it's happening not just politically, but also like within our own lives, socially. We're seeing a lot of social change, a lot of more social awareness, and a lot of more social justice happening, which is beautiful. It's been a while since I've smelled my Consassa, and I love it. So good. Awesome. It's just bringing a lot of changes that we do need, and it's making us confront a lot of the growth, a lot of those things that we believed is truth. It's important to, pull back the veil and get rid of those misconceptions, which is definitely that time of energy right now, because of course that's that illumination of the sun. When the sun is full and complete and high in the sky, it makes us face our problems head on for sure, because it's just like, bing, there's your issue, deal with it. which is kind of the issue with the summer. But this is also why we can go outside and connect with nature more, because when we can ground those issues into the ground and really honor our place, it's such a beautiful gift. And so, there we go. Let me pull in some of these guys out. All right, there we are. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my medicines before we go ahead and light the smudge here. So first of all, we're going to start in the east. Again, these are just my teachings. If they make sense to you, awesome. If they don't, that's fine as well. And we're going to just do a quick rundown. I can dive into the medicines for like an hour and a half and talk so much about them and the stories behind them. But it's not that long of a live stream. And I want to get to some songs. And so this is sweetgrass. Of course, that beautiful, beautiful braid here. Oh, where's that from? And that braid, of course, symbolizing those connections that we make in our mind. It's our connection to grandfather sun, which we honor right now, that divine masculine, which is illuminating everything and making all of that growth happen, and really working in unison with Mother Earth. It's really about that nurturing that strength and that support that masculine energy gives to Mother Earth. And so it's that support of our mind as well. And so it's really about thinking of problems, facing our problems head on, because that's really the time that we're in right now, is really to face those problems head on and recognize those seeds that we laid and the weeds that we need to pull in that garden of our mind. And so we have that braid to represent our ancestors, and then our future generations, but then spirit, which weaves it all together, and our 7 teachings as well, because there's 7 blades in every section of the sweetgrass braid. It's the sweetest medicine. It honors our mind. And so that's our mind in the east. And again, these are just my teachings. In the south, we have growth. We have our physical body. We have 2 kinds of cedar here. So we've got white cedar and we've got red cedar. I'm not sure if you can see the difference there, but that red is on top, the white is on the bottom. White's a little bit lighter. It's got a little bit more of a white bark, whereas the red is a little bit greener. It has a little bit more of a red bark. And one is really good at preventative, and the other is really good for treatment. So white's good for treatment of many ailments, but they're both jam-packed with vitamins and minerals. So it really teaches us to honor our body. This is the time where we're in that south door, so it's really about honoring the sun. It's about honoring that growth. It's about honoring our physical body and the connection to the earth. It's that reminder to go out and connect to the earth. This is when we start to get acquainted with the medicines again. And so it's really about honoring that, those teachings and that connection that we have to the medicines. In the south, I'm going to go to the west. And in the west we have sage. I'm going to just hold this lovely, lovely piece of sage out. So I'm really excited. I was up on Nose Hill, which is normally where I go sage picking. And up on Nose Hill, so last year, the sage was, because it was so dry, it was like that big. This year, I was up there like last week, and it was the same height as it was last year in the fall after all of that growth. So I'm really excited for the harvest this year, but also a little trepidatious, because the way that medicines grow is they grow when we need them. So they know what that year ahead is going to hold. So that means it's going to be a very challenging year ahead. So stock up on your sage, kids. You're going to need it. But it's really just about honoring that women's medicine, honoring our heart medicine, honor that connection to our community, honor Grandmother Moon, who guides us, that power of intuition, which is within us, you know, our heart medicine that guides us. So about connecting to our emotions and letting those tears go, because that's part of our healing journey. That's where we learn. That's where we let those things go. Not to be afraid of those tears. Honor them, because they teach you so much about yourself and that strength that you have within you. And so there we go. Just bundling that sage here. And so this is the Cree Crunch, and this is the Blackfoot Roll. And it just compresses it enough that it'll burn evenly all the way through. And that goes in the bowl. And then the last medicine that we have is tobacco. This is pipe tobacco that of course I use in my pipe, but we never inhale it because it is a spirit medicine, and we don't want to disrespect the connection that we have to spirit by inhaling the medicine. So it's a symbolic medicine. We use it to gift to each other to say thank you from our spirit to someone else's spirit. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. And we also use it to gift to Mother Earth. Now is the time when we bring it out on the land and we gift it to Mother Earth. If we're harvesting any of our medicines, we're always leaving the roots of the plant in the ground, again, to honor that connection that we have with Mother Earth. But when we give tobacco, it actually helps that plant grow back faster, and it also acts as a pesticide. So the same stuff that makes us sick helps those plants to get those bugs off. And so that's really beautiful. If we are needing some tea this time of year, actually any time of year, this was harvested in the winter. This is Kinsasa, also known as red willow bark. I think I have a little teeny tiny piece because it didn't all go through. So this is red willow bark. So there's that little bit of red willow. It's a very, very dark red, but this is what it looks like. Oh, I just don't want to get it all over my keyboard. It smells really good. So when we harvest it, usually when we grind it up or shave it, it smells a little bit like apples, and it slowly starts to kind of percolate, if you want to call it that, and then it goes to smelling kind of like apple cider as it starts to dry and kind of mature in the bag, and then eventually it just smells a little kind of sweet, kind of piney a little bit, but it smells really good to me. And so that's really good for headaches this time of year. If you start to get sunstroke, actually it's really good at replenishing and helping you cool your brain down a little bit, because it helps to get that blood flowing a little bit faster. Definitely, and you can also put it on your skin, like have a bath in it, and cedar, and it's really good for sunburns. So yeah, cedar and Kinsasa, that red willow bark, good stuff. But make sure you harvest the red willow bark in the winter, so hopefully you have some in stock. If not, I have a little bit, so give me a shout. But yeah, those are the 4 medicines, the 4 directions, and the 4 directions, of course, are in our smudge bowl. The bowl itself represents water. The medicine, no matter what it is, as soon as we put it in the bowl, represents earth. When we let it in fire, it represents fire. And then the smoke going up represents air, going to creator. And so that's our prayers. Smudge is asking for the things you need in your life, letting go of the things that you don't. It's recognizing you know, the teachings behind the medicines and unifying them all together so they all come together to guide us on our journey. So I am going to use matches. And so my teachings around why we light our smudge with matches is because we want to be able to honor the medicines, and a lighter disrespects the connection that we have to the medicines. We're not entitled to all of those elements in the lighter, so it's almost like that disrespectful connection to Mother Earth. How does traditional medicine work in combination with Canadian regular medicine? Oh, a lot of our traditional medicines are actually getting proven by science all the time. And so red willow bark, for example, same stuff that's in aspirin. Who knew? And cedar oil is in Buckley's because it's really good for sore throats and for breathing and all of those wonderful things. So yeah, there's a lot of our traditional medicines that can be incorporated as a holistic way of bringing all of the medicines together, both that Western style of medicine, but also the traditional style of medicine, because it's all about balance. And so here we go. We're gonna light these matches. There's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. You just want to make sure that you always fan it with your hand. You never blow on it, because your breath is your life, and your life is precious. You don't waste that for anybody. And so I'm just going to clean my hands in it. I am only using, oh, what am I doing? I'm only using sage today, sage being the women's medicine. Oops. There we go. Clean my hands in it. So anything that I'm carrying, I get rid of. I bring it over my body 4 times, till into 4 directions in my body. I smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path, so I can remember to be open-minded and never rigid with my thinking. Smudge my ears so I can listen twice as much as I speak and be open to hear all of the messages that Creator sends me. I smudge my eyes so I can see clearly and see all of the beauty that surrounds me. Smudge my nose so I can smell danger, nature, and coffee. smudge my mouth so I speak only true and kind words that are helpful and benefit mankind. I smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime. I honor the names that I have been gifted and the voice that carries with them. She who sings and drums with spirits in a storm was gifted to me by my mushum, Joseph Grey Eyes, my great-grandfather. And in Blackfoot, I am Red Singer, because there's not a word for pink in Blackfoot. Thank you to Clarence Wolflag for that. He is lovely. Smudge my lungs and honor the sacred breath that we all share. That is the breath of spirit, the breath of life, the breath of wisdom, understanding, and the 7 teachings, as well as the 7 generations, because we were breathing the same air as our ancestors, and our future generations will breathe the same. This is why it's important to take care of it. I smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body, and I pray for abundance around the world. I smudge my heart so remember to be kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to my family, friends, myself, and all my relations, just everyone. Smudge my belly button because I'm very thankful for my spirit, to remember that that's where we're connected before we come into this world. So to honor those teachings in a good way. And to always listen to our intuition, because that's our spirit speaking through us and to us. I honor my womanhood because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. Also honor that sacred balance between masculine and feminine as a two-spirit person I carry within me. I smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of my responsibilities in a good way. I smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that creators put me here to do. I smudge my legs so I can walk this red road in a good way. That's the path of Aboriginal spirituality. And I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body that you need a little extra love, so my shoulder's really sore today, so I smudge that. And my right hip and my lower back has been really giving me some grief. Because all that moisture, whenever there's moisture in the air, it gives me a little bit of a hassle. But I'm just thankful that I'm standing upright. And I give thanks to my hips for the healing that they have done, and they will continue to do moving forward. And then if there's anyone in your life you want to send that love and appreciation and healing to, you hold them in your heart, and you send them that love as well. And when you're all done, you can say hi, makuch, merci, gracias, shishia. I'm also going to smudge my drum today. I have been using it quite a bit lately. As well as my rattles, because I've been using those quite a bit as well. I think I might do a song with a rattle tonight. But I am definitely going to do some women's songs, because I think it's important to support each other on this journey. When you're all done, just say thank you in your language, which in mine is hi or maguch or marcy. And I'm going to throw my earrings back on. And so, tonight I did want to start with some women's songs, including the Women's Honor song, Anagea. Anagea is a song from Joan Henry, and she is a Arapaho Cherokee. I'm very thankful to have come across this song and for her to have shared it in such a beautiful and generous way. I think it's so important that when we do find a song that really resonates with us, to reach out and thank that person who has shared it, but also learn a little bit of the story behind it. And so this being that Women's Honor song, that's that pulse that's within each and every one of us whenever we have that nurturing energy that we need to, you know, embrace our community or embrace a child or embrace each other. It's that heartbeat that is within each and every one of us that connects us, that natural pulse that we have with Mother Earth. And so Anagea teaches us about honoring that, teaches us about honoring, you know, that feminine energy within each and every one of us, and not to run away from it because it's a sacred thing. But to remember that balance that we need to maintain. And so, this is Anagea. The Women's Honor Song. I'm so used to my drumstick being in there. I was like, oh my gosh, where did it? Oh, right, it's right there. I put it over there. It has been a month, kids. So I'm really thankful. Even though it's been really, really busy, I've been able to share in such an incredible way. And I'm honoring this song and all those incredible, incredible people who have really guided us on our journey. So this is Anagea, the Women's Honor Song. Thank you, Joan Henry. She's a Arapaho Cherokee. Anagea, weha, when away, when away we are, when knowing we oh hey we are, we high, we high, we high, we are. Anagea, we how we are, we how away, we how we are, we are. When away, when away we are, when knowing we oh hey we are, we high, we high, we high, we are. Anagea, we how we are, we how away, we how we are, we are, we are. When away, when away we are, when knowing we oh hey we are, we high, we high, we high, we are. Anagea, we how we are, we how away, we how we are, we are, we are. When away, when away we are, when knowing we oh hey we are, we high, we high, we high, we are. Anagea, we how we are, we how away, we how we are, we are, we are. We are. Awesome. And so the next women's song that I'd like to share is the Strong Woman song. Because man, do we need the strength in recent days. But this is really about honoring that sacred feminine within each and every one of us, but also honoring our mothers and our grandmothers and those incredibly strong women in our community, but also those incredibly strong men that stand beside us, not in front of us, not behind us, beside us. That's incredible. But also those two-spirit people who a bit like they embody both that masculine and that feminine and bring those teachings together in such a beautiful way. This song, it was originally known as the Turtle Song because in it you can, well, the turtle represents Mother Earth because of course we're on Turtle Island, we're on the turtle's back. It represents growth, it represents change, it represents Grandmother Moon because on a turtle's back it has those 28 ridges to represent the 28 days in a moon cycle and the 13 bumps to represent the 13 moons in a year, which coincidentally are in a women's moon cycle. So it teaches us about that sacredness that is reflected, that sacredness of life that was reflected within our own cycles. And it's really about honoring that moon, that life, that nurturing, that growth, and that connection that we have to Mother Earth and to each other through our emotions, through the waters, and through life and love. Also, this song was brought in as part of a recivitism I said the word right, program with, it was a, it was in Ontario. It was a prison, and there was a high population of Métis, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, and Cree women there, and so they brought this OG Cree song in to help with a rehabilitation program to help these women connect to their culture, to connect with their ancestry, to connect with who they were, and that divine sacredness that was within each and every one of them. Because when you go to prison, you lose that sense of ownership. And a lot of the time when if women go to prison, they lose their family, they lose their friends, they lose their sense of self, they lose that connection to who they were or who they are, if they hadn't already lost it before that to enter prison. And so this song was brought in as a healing tool, really, to reconnect these women to their culture, to who they were, and to really find that strength from their ancestors. And of all the women that were involved in this program, kind of became their theme song, and 98% of them never reoffended. And so it shows that strength and that power in connecting to your ancestors and connecting to who you are and having that value of self, that determination of self, and that connection to our future generations. And so this is the Strong Woman song. And I dedicate it to many of the strong women in my life. Stephanie, my mom, Sandra, and so many others. Hey, hey. I'm going to sing another one, but I have to pull out my words. I really honestly, even though I wrote this song, sometimes it's hard for me to remember the order of the words, which is probably not good. Awesome. And so, all right, this is the daughter song. I wrote this for my girls, and when they had moved in with me. It was such a beautiful gift to be able to have them in my life, to see them grow, to see them flourish, to see them really change into the strong, incredible women that they are. And I can't wait to see what they do in the world. And they're 15, but you can see that potential of incredible things that lie ahead of them, and I'm so thankful to be on this journey with them. And so, this is daughter. It teaches us that we are all responsible for each other's daughters. The words in the song are Gitanes, her daughter, Mitanes, your daughter, Gitanes now, my daughter, Nitanes, Gitanes, and Utanesu, as well as our daughters. So it's really about bringing community together to take care of each other and to take care of our girls, for our future generations, to take care of all of our two-spirit people so that they can continue to share for generations to come. And so this is for our daughters. Kakione, wakemakono, weo weo, weo heao, kitanis, sakehitoe, weo weo. hito win sake hito win. Awesome. Yep. So that was Daughter. That was a song that I wrote for my girls. And I'm just so thankful to have them in my life. Yeah, even though I've always known that I was going to have twins, I just didn't know how they were going to come into my life. And surprise, right before the pandemic, they landed with me, and I'm glad that they had a soft place to land. And so, yeah, I'm going to sing the mother song next. Just because it's really to honor all of that nurturing spirit within each and every one of us, the people who step into those roles of parenthood, even though sometimes it's scary. It is terrifying to be a parent. Oh my gosh. And it starts young, and the fear does not stop. You're just like, please don't mess up. But finally, as you see them grow, and you can see these beautiful things that they kind of develop into, these incredible lives and spirits and people. My eldest just graduated university, and I look at him, I'm like, I didn't break you. You're successful. Huzzah! So I'm just really, really thankful for that. But the mother song was written to honor all of our mothers, to honor those women who had lost their children, and that ability to nurture all of their parents and those grandparents who lost their children during the 60s scoop and during the residential schools, but also Residential School 2.0, which is the foster care system. We have so many families that have been torn apart, and so this is really about unifying that spirit. You can hear that mother calling out and that child calling back, but it's really that give and take. It's knowing that no matter how far you are, you still have that love of your community, you still have that love of your family, it's still there. And really about honoring those connections that we have to back home to our ancestors. And so I thank my friend Lacey for gifting me this song. And I had gifted her the water song and the healing song in return. If you're going to learn a song, it's important to do an exchange, whether it be a song, whether it be a story, whether it be a teaching, or whether it be a medicines. It's really about honoring that energy. You don't just take and take and take, because then there's going to be nothing left, but you always want to honor that exchange. And so, yeah, my hair is very wet. So this is the mother song. too much this last month. My throat is just like wrecked. And it's not stopping. We're singing tomorrow. Huzzah! So, note, I just want to sing the Thunderbird song. I'm really thinking about it a lot lately. Not only with the beautiful storms that we've been having, which I need to fix my gutters because they're like, it's like a waterfall over my door. It's not very pleasant to come into. But also just those beautiful storms and how they nurture the earth, how they wake up the earth with that thunder and that lightning, and just that rejuvenation and that chaos that brings creation. It's such a beautiful gift. But the Thunderbird is, you know, fate or destiny. It teaches us everything happens for a reason. And so even our challenges that come at us, they're going to teach us something very beautiful about who we are, about our resilience, and how we can come together as a community to make those changes happen. But also, you know, even though it seems very bleak, it always happens for a reason. With myself, the Thunderbird has really helped me get through a lot of challenges in my life. And so, well, 10 years ago now, I was hit by a truck. And that truck, even though I was like, what are you going to do with my truck? It sucked, for sure, but I didn't cry about it. I was like, okay, well, why? Why did this happen to me? And what is the path that I need to be on that I wasn't on before? And had it not been for that truck hitting me, and me really shifting the direction of my life, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be sharing my teachings and my songs and my stories and my culture and making drums and sharing beautiful, beautiful things. And I'm so thankful, even though it sucked to get hit by a truck, I'm thankful for the path that it had led me to. And so, yeah, I think sometimes we won't be able to see that right away, but we need to trust that those answers will come. And so, yeah, this is the Thunderbird song. This is Anishinaabe. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwa no. Weya heya heya yo, weya heya heya yo, we hi we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwa no. Weya heya heya yo, weya heya heya yo, we hi we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwa no. Weya heya heya yo, weya heya heya yo, we hi we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwa no. Weya heya heya yo, weya heya heya yo, we hi we yo. So I wrote a song. Probably won't be able to remember it, but if not, if it doesn't come to me, I'm just going to go ahead and sing the Traveler song to wish everybody well. Yeah. I know it was this. Nope, don't think I'll remember it. That's okay. When it's meant to be shared, it will be. That's okay. I'm going to share the thank you song instead. Magwitch nagama hona suk, magwitch nagama nokama suk, magwitch nagao hey hey nook nook, oh hey oh hey oh hey. Oh hey, 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 oh hey. Magwitch nagama hona suk, magwitch nagama nokama suk, magwitch nagao hey hey nook nook, oh hey, oh hey, oh hey. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh makwitch nagao, hey hey nook nook, oh hey oh hey oh hey. Oh hey 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 oh hey oh hey. One more for the star people. Makwitch nagao maho nasuk. Makwitch nagao manuka masuk. Makwitch nagao hey hey nook nook. Oh hey oh hey oh hey. Oh hey 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 oh hey oh hey. Awesome. The bear song popped in my head. I guess I gotta do the bear song. And so I know that the bears are down really, really low this year. Oftentimes they're quite high up in the mountains at about this time, but there's a lot of ice jams, which is pretty crazy. So when it gets really hot, I'm wondering what's going to happen. So they're very, very low, and that's causing a lot of problems for people who are camping, for people who are tourists. And so it's just really about honoring and respecting the bear and watching them, what they do, learning from them, and remembering to just respect their space, especially now because it's cubbing season. And there's really cute cubs, but they're very dangerous mamas. So please be careful. And so yeah, this is the bear song to honor and respect the bear and all it teaches us as our brothers, sisters, and our guides, our teachers. And so this is the bears song. So, yeah, the last song I want to share with you is a goodbye song. Not goodbye, because we don't have a word for goodbye. But to your journey, see you soon. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope to see you again. I'm going to try and remember the song that I wrote. It might work, it might not, and if not, so be it. Hey, Sakito into my family until we meet again. Away, 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 Sakito into my journey. Sakito into a friend. Sakito into our families until we meet again. Away, hey, oh. Away, hey, oh. Away, hey, oh. Away, hey, oh. Sakito into your family. Sakito into your friend. Sakito into my journey until we meet again. Hi everyone. Magwitch, thank you so much for following me, for sharing with me, for joining me tonight. Please feel free to share. These teachings are open to everyone, but just acknowledge where they've come from, acknowledge the history behind them. I think that's the most important part. But I will be back next week. I will be taking some time off in July and also some time off in the end of August, beginning of September for something awesome. So I'm really excited to share. But Magwitch, everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I will see you next week. Hi. Support each other, take care of each other. And remember, we're all in this together. Magwitch, good night. Hi.